1, go!
Okay, alright, I'm gonna just kind of give some comments as I review this video. I haven't seen these yet. And I'm not gonna pause it or anything, so I would recommend if you watch it at half speed or quarter speed, so you can kind of look at the timing, the very particular things I'm looking at. So I'm gonna start from the back here. Sylvia in general, the very back has got a good sit up. It's pretty smooth most of the time. When you get aggressive, sometimes it'll be a little bit quick, but right here it looks very good. Roger, the back. So Roger's got a good length of stroke. Just be careful that first part as you're entering. Try not to make sure you're pulling as you kind of enter, as you go down. You lower your paddle into the water. Sometimes it looks like you extend your outside arm up in the air, and then as you come down, it starts to bend a little bit, so be careful of that. And then you can open up your chest a little bit more. You can lean a little bit more. Let's see. Dina, you can get a little bit more body motion in there. So if you notice the length of your stroke versus Roger, your blade comes out usually just a little bit earlier, and by the time you're buried, it's also a little bit more negative. So you want to try and keep that more forward. Tara is so close. If you look at your head and Maurice's head on your left, it's just a little bit behind it. So really use the body to lean into it. Luis, let's see, your stroke is also a little bit on the shorter side. So if I look at the path of your bottom hand recovery, your bottom hand comes up really high. Try to keep everything a little bit lower throughout the recovery. So use a little bit more of that forward back body motion, and let your wrists bend a little bit more so that you don't have to bring your hands so high to clear the water. You can also, on your recovery, bring your inside arm up forward and across a little bit more so it's not as high. And yeah, you really try to get that length. Nico, you look pretty good. I would say if anything, you can get a little bit more length in the back, and make sure you don't round your back. It's rounding a little bit as you reach forward. So as you come forward, make sure you keep your back straight. Donna, for sure, your outside arm bends quite a bit. So you need to try and, in order to engage a little bit more of that back, relax that bottom arm a little more. And then Steve working on that entry, that lowering that hand in the front. Okay. So this side, I might not get to everybody. Just gonna kind of give comments as I see it. So Stan, your stroke also tends to be a little bit on the shorter side. So you're picking up the blade just like a hair before Steve does in most strokes, not all of them. Sometimes you lined up. In order to increase the length of your stroke, you really just got to relax that outside arm a little bit more, and then allow yourself to grab a little bit more in the front by moving to the front of the water slower. A little bit tougher to see in that boat here. Timing is not nothing like super obvious, could be cleaned up a little bit. Sandra, you tend to be a little bit early, but again, not always. This is actually a great view of Karen's boat here, so we can see the top arms stacking. There you go, Robin. If you gotta pick it up, hook it up all the way. Or lack of. Everyone can get a little bit more. Looks like so. Brendan in the back there, sunglasses behind. All right, Sandra, get a little deeper up in the front. Robin is pretty good at that. Let's see. Okay, going back to Zoe's boat. The timing on this side is not too bad. Sandra's got a kind of an aggressive sit up at the very front, so just be careful. You want to try and smooth that out a little bit. Stan's got a good smooth sit up. Dwark's got a good smooth sit up.
This is the second up, yeah?
And in the back of the boat, I think that's Marisa from the second from the end. Your blade's getting buried just a little bit later than everyone else, so watch the timing on there. There's some timing, some caterpillar, so back half is a little behind here. Stan, you can actually get a little bit more rotation too. That will also help with you with your length. Alright, looking in Karen's boat, we see some definitely eyes looking down, so if we look at the top arms, right? So if we look at Molly Lamb's top arm in the pink in the front, it's pretty straight, stays up and forward. That's the goal that we're looking for. So Ro and Jake in the back, you're bending a lot at the elbows. You can also notice Spencer keeps his top arm pretty straight too, also there. So this one I think starts out with more view of this boat. Again, we're looking at the top arms right now, so Marvin and Molly is pretty good keeping it up and forward and straight, and Riley too. Molly Vaughn, your top arm does do a little bit of a drop as you bring it inside the boat, so you can kind of reduce that a little bit.
It's not the paddle. 3, 2, 1, add pressure.
Okay.
Medium. We're at
so
medium.
Here again, we're looking at the top hands and the body moving.
Robin. Got you.
So Marvin, it's good, smooths it up. Molly Lamb, good, smooths it up. Chris, good. Heidi, it's pretty good too. Looks like you're a little bit late on the entry, Heidi. And then Robin also working on that timing. No, you're relatively new, so keep working on it.
Alvin, a little bit late on the entry. A little bit quicker to the front.
Tougher to see in the back of the boat.
New, if you can pick your blade up closer
Definitely,
to the water, coming up a little bit high
Barbara, try and have a little bit less of that wobble. So it's the very beginning of the stroke where it kind of comes into the boat just a little bit. It's actually a lot better than it used to be. So good job, keep working on it. More forward and back and less of that wiggle inside the boat. It's a lot better than it was like a few months ago. So keep working at that.
Relax the bottom hand a little more on the entry as you're entering. Good. A little bit less reach, and then just relax a little bit more. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Rate coming up.
All right. So again, Ro and Jake and Robin working on the top hand. Heidi, work on trying to get that top arm across a little bit more. It's coming up pretty high, so you want it to bleed more across. I'm shifting my focus over to the other boat now, Zoe's boat, where Steve is stroking, and it looks like the rest of the boat is not quite with Steve. So it's a timing issue, again, that's Donna, you're a little bit late. Most people are following you. But it's quite a bit off from Steve, and it stays off for quite a while, so we want to be able to catch ourselves if we do get off for a couple strokes, to be able to recognize it and hop right back in, correct it pretty much immediately.
1, and up, 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 eyes staying up.
Alright, one thing I want to look at, we've been talking a lot about buckets lately. If you look at Riley's, Riley's sitting in seat 1 with the white tank top and the dark blue visor. You can't see him too much right now, but at the end of every one of his strokes, he's got just like a tiny bit of a flick at the very end. So that's, I know Riley's getting pressure all the way through the very end. And notice how it's not, there's no slowing down towards the end of it. If I look at Chris, so Chris, seat 3, the right with the red cap and the pink dragon boat blade. Chris also has a little bit of a scoop there, but it's a little bit different because Chris, you're getting to the stroke a little early. So it's a bit of a timing thing, but also make sure, we talked about this on Tuesday practice, be a little bit slower in the front so that you have pressure coming through the back and it's not just getting to the back and then waiting for everybody there.
Up. There you go. So row a little behind.
Alright, so this was the crew we were working a lot on that length and the timing, so we can already see the timing is pretty off in this crew. Fast crew is coming up on the left side of the video. The timing is still not perfect, so things we can work on. Looks like Marvin a little bit late on the entry, so we got to work on that there. Camera's turning here, so Brendan's got a good length up in front. Dwark's doing a great job matching him. Still a little bit quicker to the front, Dwark, so Brendan's getting buried a little bit before you. Spencer, make sure you're not reaching too high up. In general, pretty good. Roger and Tara, again, the heads are moving slightly differently, so Tara, you gotta find that match. All right, back to this crew. So we got some.
2, 1, and up.
So Alvin in seat 1 in the red PFD. I guess the jersey. I can see there's a lot more pressure on that first part of the stroke, and then you're doing the thing where the first half of your stroke is pretty aggressive with the sit up, and then you kind of get to the end and you kind of wait there a little bit. So you're doing a good job of keeping that, trying to match the length that we want, but the rhythm is a little off, so you're getting to the end a little bit quick. We should be a little bit slower, a little bit smoother on that initial pull. So let's see, seat 3, row. On this side you can see you're actually leaning outside the boat a little bit. We want to try and square up a little bit more, so we're not leaning quite outside so much. You're doing a pretty good job with the length, just the posture. Keep your head up and your chest up. Again, Robin working on the timing back there. So in this crew, Molly Lamb's a really good person to watch in terms of the rhythm and the body position we're getting. So top arm stays pretty straight, bottom arm also stays pretty straight. Smooth sit up. Head is more up and forward. Let's see. A little bit of timing, so the back of the boat is a little behind.
Robin, if your paddle's coming in, it's got to come up. Yep.
And Heidi a little bit behind on that sit up there, so Rose got a good sit up, just want to have it a little bit smoother, not quite as bouncy at the front. And again, timing in the back of the boat, it's a little tricky with trying to follow. If a couple people get off in the middle, it makes it really tough for the people in the back to follow. But it's good we got some newer folks in the boat. We're working on it. Keep working and get better. And Luis also leaning outside the boat on the right. I'm going to make sure you keep your body a little bit more square.
And let it ride.